but I took pride in clamping the best player.
Yeah.
That was it. Then I get talk my mess, you know.
Yeah. That's what's up. That's what's up. And when did you get into track?
I got into track my freshman year of high school. My grandma, she told me to give track a try. And you know, like if your grandma tells you to try something, like why not? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like why wouldn't you? But that was also the time of AAU basketball. So it's like you
Mm-hmm.
hop out of high school basketball, go straight into AAU. And so I was like, ooh, do I really want to do track or do AAU? And to be honest with you, I did both in my freshman year. Like I did both. I was going to track practice, and then right after I was going to hoop practice as well. But that's when I started to get into track. And at first, like growing up, I was always the fastest kid in the school. I was always the fastest kid on my sports teams, whether it was baseball, soccer, football. I was always the fastest. So I knew I was fast, but it was nice to kind of put myself against other kids who claimed themselves as fast, you know. So I enjoyed track. I wasn't the best at first, but like I had two great coaches, Ed Williams and Pee Wee. Those guys kind of taught me what track was really about. You know, they actually taught me about running. Actually taught me about form. Obviously, I started I started learning more and more, but like that initial of it's more than just like getting on the track and just running. You know what I mean? So I started to actually fall in love with the sport, and I wasn't that great at first. I was one of the fastest.
He's lying. He's
Nah, I
lying.
wasn't that great. I wasn't. I mean, I did
Lying.
pretty cool, but I wasn't. I didn't. I mean, I won my first couple races, but then I finally lost, and I was like, "Whoa, what's this?" And that's
To
when
anyone,
I ended up.
so on my channel that I've been growing, there's people who watch this from all over.
Okay.
Because I cover track and sports from all over. To anyone who's not familiar, I'm sure I'm just gonna preface this like he's gone far in track. To anyone who's not familiar, he is lying to you. but so even like seventh grade, eighth grade, what middle school did you go to?
I went to Hunt Middle School. Yeah,
And you didn't run for the Scotties?
yeah, I was a Scotty.
But you didn't run? You
I
weren't on the
mean,
track team?
at that time, I also focused on football and basketball. Like track was, but also track. Like if I lived in a different state, I feel like I would have done track. But in Washington, track's not really a big thing. So it's like
No.
in middle school, like nobody even suggested like, "Hey, go out for track." Like
Mhm.
I was always like, if anybody wanted to race me at the playground, bet let's lace them up. But it's like nobody actually thought track was a sport. Nobody. So it's like I was never like, oh, okay, let me go do this because it was just never talked about. And then also the participation level of track during middle school is like very low. So it's like
Yeah.
the track team probably had like 5 kids at that time, and it's like nobody knew about it. You know, so it's just like for me, I was just like, nah, I'm about to go hoop. I'm about to go play football. I got to get ready to go to the league. You know,
Yeah.
so middle school, nope.
Okay, I'm with you. I'm with you. But your freshman year, you go out for track at Foss, and I guess kind of take us through like what happens freshman year. How's it go for you?
Freshman year track and field was pretty good. I ended up like I was playing basketball too, so I was skipping some practices because it started to get to a lot on my body. But still, I kind of just ran off talent that first year. Like I was learning what Ed and Pee Wee were teaching me, but still I wasn't taking it serious. I was just like, I'm out here. My grandma told me to do it. This is fun, or whatever. But it's like it's cool. But then obviously, like I said, I lost a race, and I'm like, whoa there. All right, let me start. Let me figure this out. Let me turn this up. But it wasn't enough time. And my coaches at that time said, you know what? We're just gonna focus on one race and get to state. And so we chose the 400, and I was like, bet, because the 400 it's about speed, strength, and heart. And I was like, ain't nobody got more heart than me, so I'm about to get this dub. And even though I'm a freshman, I never thought about like, oh, I'm 14 years old and I'm racing 18-year-olds. I don't think like that. It's like if we're both in the same level, like I don't care how old you are or what it is, like I'm about to torch you. That's the way I thought. And then I was able to make it to the state finals, and I got put in lane 8. So that means that I was all the way out there. I didn't have nobody to see. My coach just said, you know what? You're in lane 8. Because at this time, I don't know much about track and how to run in different lanes. He was just like, go. He said, you just run away from everybody as best you can. And I got out there. I did my best, and I took fourth. And I lost to three seniors. I tapped my hat off to them. They got me, and yeah, that was that freshman year. Yeah, they got me. I was sick though. I was like, but
Hey, he was sick. Let me reiterate what you just said. He goes out for track freshman year. He ends up in the state championships and takes fourth to three seniors, and he was hurt about that.
I was sick.
But think about all the juniors, all the seniors that he dusted to get there.
They weren't faster than me. They were, but my mind was like, nah.
Like, nah, I shouldn't have this L.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up. I remember you freshman year, and yeah, just looking at some of the names. Like at that time when you were a freshman, I was a senior, so I'm looking at some of the names. It's like, who's this dude? Like, why is there a 9? Grade 9 next to someone running 48. That's all we were all wondering. Why is there a ninth grader running 48s?
Yeah.
So that was it was just dope to see and definitely watch you progress over the years. So I guess how did things kind of develop? You after that first year, you can still play football. You can still play basketball.
Sophomore year was the big year. Sophomore year was the decision year for me.
Yep.
It got to a point where, so like I said, I lost to three seniors. So then that next year, I had a really, really good basketball season. Like I averaged 18.8 points, 6 assists. Like I was killing. I was a co-MVP of the league. Like I was doing well. So I'm like, I'm about to go to this AAU season. I'm about to like torch things. But in my mind, I thought AAU was the summertime. So I wanted to like still do track. And so I did track because I did enjoy it. And I was like, okay, three seniors are gone. Now it's my time to shine. Like I'm about to torch everybody on the track. So then it got to a point where I got called, like this is at the beginning of track season. I got called to go to an AAU tournament in Vegas. And I was like, ooh, like, should I go? Should I not go? You know, you're a high school kid getting invited to go to Vegas. Who's not going to go? So, of course, I went. And I didn't tell my track coaches, like, I did them dirty. I remember being at the airport, and they called me. And I looked at my phone like, ooh, I'm still a high school kid. I wouldn't do this now, but I was like, should I pick this up? Nah, I ain't gonna pick this up. Like, I'm, being a stupid kid. And so then we got to Vegas, and the first game, the very, first minute of the game, I stubbed my toe against one of my opponents. And for those of you, anybody that don't know, if you don't have your big toe, you can't run, jump, or sprint. Like I was done. So I was done for the basketball tournament, and I was limping. I got back home, and I was still hurt. And long story short, I was out about a month to about 4 to 5 weeks. And and being in a track season, if you don't work out for 4 to 5 weeks, there's only so much you can do.
Yep.
And that was my choice. It's something that I dealt with, but in my mind, I'm like, I'm still winning state. Oh, I'm still winning. I don't care. So I was lucky enough to make it to be healthy by league. So I get through league, I get through districts, and then state. So now I'm back at the state championship. And in my mind, I'm confident as ever. I'm like, these guys aren't going to beat me. I don't care. Like, there's no way. And so I get out, and I guess at that point in time, I had a little cockiness swag to myself because I really thought that I was just that guy. And so the race goes off, bang! I get out, and I'm winning too. I'm gone. Like there's one dude by me, and he's the name I'll always remember in track and field because he probably did the best thing that could ever happen to me. Marquin Russell. So pretty much Marquin Russell, me and him. We get to the last 50 meters, we're neck and neck. And then all of a sudden, with 10 meters to go, he pretty much is like ahead of me by like a smidge bit. And he literally beats me with a lean by like the distance of my pinky. Like, damn. Oh, bro. When I tell you I was hot and he celebrated in my face, not in my face, but pretty much in my face, I was like, oh, no, this can't happen. I was like, I was so mad. But to be honest, that was a blessing in disguise because that night I couldn't be mad at anybody but myself I chose to go to Vegas. I got hurt, and that's what deterred me from being the state champion. And it made me realize if you say you have this goal, you have to dedicate yourself to that goal. I didn't dedicate myself to being a state champion. I just said I was going to, just because I just thought I was better. And it takes a lot more. And because nobody can ever tell me, or nobody could ever look at me and be like, he's not a hard worker. I knew, regardless of what I said, every day I came to practice, I worked hard. And I just thought that was going to be enough. But it wasn't. And so tip my hat off to him. And that summer, I made a huge decision. To play a little bit of AAU basketball, but I decided to do summer track. I wanted to take revenge. Even I wasn't going to race him because he was also a football player. I wanted to do track. And so I ran for Eric Metcalf for Seatown Express. And that's when I went to the Junior Olympics. And then I took second in the 400 and our 4x4 took first. And so now things are cool again. But for me, my biggest thing was junior year. I wanted to race Marquin again. I wanted to race everybody. I didn't want to lose again in the state of Washington because I just wanted to make sure that I was still going to play basketball. But then I told myself, when I hit track season, I'm not going to touch a basketball. Not even for fun. I'm only going to stick to track. I'm only going to do track workouts. And best believe, I made sure my coaches are like, Coach, we got to make sure we can race Marquin every single race we can. And they made sure our schedule had that. And I raced him probably 4 times that year, but the state championship was the most important thing because now it's time for me to get over the hump.
That's dope. That's funny.
And I won the 400 and 200. I won the 400 and 200 that year, and my senior year I won as well. But the thing for me was I didn't want to lose another race in the state of Washington. My last 2 years I didn't lose one race. I took it that serious because I was
you're super competitive.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Man, this losing, no, and especially if it's my fault. And I was like, no, I can't let that happen. So I really just learned.
And with Marquin, was he the same year as you?
Yeah, we're the same.
Because he was young.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, y'all had that ability to I can't lose to this guy. I'm gonna see him. We want the same thing. I gotta dub him.
Yeah. Oh, I dubbed him ever since he had that state championship, and he never beat me again. But I mean, it's just what it was. But I mean,
yeah.
He would be like, I'm a football player. I don't really care. But I was like, I don't care. I was a bad hooper. But when we stepped to this, just know it's me now. But he was a super cool guy. Though. I like him. But still, when it came to the track though, no friends. No friends.
And why'd you choose? So there's a lot of programs that you could have went with in Tacoma, Seattle, etc. Why'd you go with Eric Metcalf in Seatown?
I went to Seatown just because of opportunity. Seatown travels, and I want to be somebody to race the best guys in the nation. And so a lot of the track programs around Washington, because track and field's not that big, they kind of stay more local. I was like, no, I'm trying to go to the big dance. I'm trying to go show that I'm the fastest kid in the nation. And so that's the reason they travel. And I was like, I need to go. I need to race the best to prove I'm the best.
Facts. No, that's one of the most competitive, best programs out here.
Yeah, and junior year we went to nationals and I won. And I showed I'm the best. That was it.
So as things kind of wrap up for you in high school, who did you have any other than Marquin? Did you have any other rivals, or do you feel you just dominated everybody?
Nah, everybody else was the same. There was nobody else that I truly wanted to see again because he's the one that really just stuck it on me. Everybody else is just like I want to bust him, but it wasn't that personal.